Hey brothers and sisters, Steve Monette here with another video in my Bible Prophecy Bites series where we look at Bible scripture, history, and current events that all point to the soon return of Jesus Christ. So for today's video, I want to continue talking about the Trump peace plan again. And simply because based on recent news events over the last few days, it's becoming obvious that something wicked is coming our way, and it's not good. Before I get started with the latest media reports and intel regarding the plan, I want to make something clear, please. I see numerous comments on my page as well as on the pages of others, our other brothers and sisters, that is, that are very excited to see the plan released because they believe it represents the Daniel 9 covenant. I would caution you, please do not be misled. This plan has nothing to do with the Daniel 9 covenant. I could do a 2-hour study on this one fact, but it's well beyond the scope of this video. The parties that are involved in this will never accept this plan, even if it was given to them with a promise for ice cream and sprinkles on it for life. Hamas will never lay down their weapons, and Abbas has already refused $10 billion because, in his words, it would end his political career. Accepting any peace plan with Israel is not in their DNA. Fighting Israel is the only thing that is in their DNA. Rather, this plan is all about dividing the Promised Land and Jerusalem, which is the apple of God's eye. Especially after he has just spent the last 70 years restoring it, just as he had promised in his word. So let me repeat. This plan is not about the Daniel 9 covenant. It's all about the dividing of the Promised Land and Jerusalem after God has just restored it over the last 70 years. So, moving forward. An article in the Jerusalem Post from 2 days ago leads us to believe that the peace plan is now a living document, meaning that it is subject to change at will. Now, this is very interesting to me for a few reasons. First off, remember when we were told that the plan was finished? Well, here's the headline in case that you may have forgotten that. Now, as I have stated in my previous videos, I am a retired firefighter paramedic, and also my family and I owned a defense contracting business for many years. So I do have a business background and also government service background. And my red flags immediately came up when I started to hear that a government proposal that was once called complete is now being reopened. And from my 17 years of writing proposals to the U.S. government, I can tell you proposals are only reopened because someone is not happy with the contents of that document. And the headline clearly states that they are receiving input from different parties. So someone has read this document and is unhappy and is now providing input back to Kushner et al. So that begs the question. If the plan supposedly has not been seen by all these interested parties, how can they possibly provide feedback that would cause the plan to change? The answer is simple. Follow the money. This newspaper, Israel Hayom, which was where the leak originated from, is financed by Sheldon Adelson and is owned by one of his relatives. And if you know Sheldon Adelson, he is a major player in Republican politics and is also a Jewish business magnate. He's a billionaire. And this leak reportedly originated from the Israeli Foreign Ministry. And who runs the Israeli Foreign Ministry, you ask? Just do a quick Google search and you'll find that it's the Likud party, of which Benjamin Netanyahu is the leader of. And did you know that this newspaper carries the nickname Bibiton, which means Bibi's newspaper? Interesting. So all of this backroom dealing, strategic press leaks, and lies stating that no one has seen the plan, it reminds me of a verse that our brother James Smith and our other brother Paul Dawson have been talking about recently in their videos, and that is Isaiah 21:2. A harsh vision has been shown to me. the treacherous one still deals treacherously, and the destroyer still destroys. So not only that, even Jordan is now worried about this plan. And that was stated in yesterday's Jerusalem Post, as you can see here in this headline. And if that wasn't enough, another headline that came out just yesterday shows that Saudi Arabia is now telling the Palestinians to consider the deal. And even the Saudis have already offered Abbas $10 billion over 10 years to accept this plan. Now, come on, ask yourself this question. How can you make a recommendation to somebody to accept a deal if you don't even know what the details of that deal are? And further, who in their right mind would offer $10 billion to a party to accept the plan if they don't even have the details to it? It doesn't make any sense in all reality. It really doesn't. Rather, I would submit to you that the interested parties know the details of this plan, and they have either received it directly from Kushner or the leak in Israel Hayom was legitimate. You decide. But I have to tell you, the more I hear of this plan, the more I think it is wicked and an abomination in the eyes of the Lord. The Bible clearly says that anyone that divides the promised land will be divided by God himself. And we also know through Scripture that it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of a living God. And as further proof that Jerusalem is the apple of God's eye, ask yourself this one question. From all the world's armies and dynasties that have attacked, divided, occupied, or have even come against Jerusalem, how many of them are left today? And the answer is 0. They were all destroyed. And do you think the USA will be any different? Do we not already have 14 pieces of evidence that prove that whenever the United States proposes to divide Israel's land, that major natural disasters hit the homeland and cause death and massive destruction, usually within 24 to 96 hours after the proposal is released? And all of this is now ready to be released less than a month after Israel completes 70 years in the land as a restored nation. Do you really think that this is all coincidence? And if you do, remember that God is the one who controls all worldly events. Not just some events, but all events. And that includes his perfect timing to release this plan to coincide with Pentecost, or the time thereof. And as you know, Pentecost is better known as the time of the wheat harvest, or the harvest at the end of the age. And of course, we can't forget that it has only been 30 days since the prophesied 483 years have passed since the second decree to rebuild Jerusalem, in which the angel Gabriel tells us that Messiah would appear at the end of that time frame. So I ask you, are you ready? Time is shorter than short. If this plan does what we think it will, and that is to divide Israel and Jerusalem, then within 24 to 96 hours, the Lord will strike the USA. Now, how can I possibly say that? It's easy. Scripture says it, and even history shows us to be true. And the Lord has already done it 14 times. So I ask you, do you think that this could be the reason for the Lord to open the sixth seal? Only time will tell. So brothers and sisters, it may be time for our last effort to spread the ABCs of salvation. Time is short. This plan could be released sometime during the week of the 9th of June. That's not too far away. It's only a few weeks away. So keep looking up, brothers and sisters, for our redemption draws near. Thanks for watching.